Congressman, what can lawmakers be doing to help the private sector create more jobs?
Well, I think the key is understanding that, what government doesn't create jobs. But what we can do is create that environment. So we need to begin to back the government away from small business, from medium-sized business, reduce regulations, and ultimately I think we need to simplify the tax code. And we have to be out there talking about the merits of the free market, the fact that America's backbone was built on the free market, and people coming up with an idea, calling their friends together, getting financing, and hiring folks.
What do we need to be doing to make the tax code less burdensome and more competitive?
Certainty. I hear it all over Montana, and you hear it all over the nation as well, but they need to know what their tax bite is going to be. If you don't know, and I'm a businessman, I belong to the chamber, I belong to every organization you can possibly think of because I come from business. I can't take the chance of expanding my business not knowing what my tax burden is going to be next year. And so enough of this temporary stuff. We don't need a temporary extension of dividends, capital gains, all the other things you think of. The estate tax needs to be eliminated. Period. No estate tax. You need to give the certainty that will create the confidence in the marketplace. And I'm telling you, business is what's going to save this country. It's ready to bust loose. It's pretty exciting. America has an amazing ability to right itself. And without the chamber, I think that whole philosophy would be lost on those in government. And so that's why I'm such an advocate for the Chamber of Commerce.
Congressman, what can lawmakers be doing to help U.S. businesses create jobs?
The most important thing is to get Americans back to work, and most of the jobs are going to be created by small business people who need to have the confidence with an economy that is predictable and that gets government out of the way, that allows them to have a game plan that they can understand, that there's predictability and the rules aren't going to change. I think the entrepreneurial spirit that has driven America from the beginning is as alive as it ever has been, but we keep stamping it down. So I think the real key is going to be to create a predictable environment that will inspire not just investment but innovation, and that's how we're going to get people back to work.
Congressman, what can lawmakers be doing to help the private sector create more jobs?
I served as governor for 10 years in North Dakota before coming to the Senate, and our focus was always jobs. Job creation is job one. And so it's all about creating that pro-growth climate from a legal tax and regulatory standpoint that empowers private investment, that empowers small businesses across this country to invest, grow, and hire people. That's the engine that runs the car and that drives this great economy.
Overseas markets are a great value to a lot of U.S.-based companies. Are we doing enough to kind of gain access to those foreign markets for our companies?
Well, I have always supported open trade agreements, and I'm pleased that this Congress moved the Korea and Panama and Colombia agreements. I think we should always be looking for opening other markets. 95% of the world's consumers live outside the United States, and we want U.S. businesses to be able to sell to those consumers.